Thank you, Priya Chaitanya Prabhu. So I'm very happy that on this Doctor's Day, I have got the opportunity to present something for the good health of everyone, because Ayurveda is meant for that. Basically, Ayurveda is the previous chapters of Ayurveda. It is mentioned that prevention is better than cure. So today I have chosen the topic suppression of a natural urges, that is Vega Dharanam, Vegan Dharaniya, which will help us to prevent the diseases. So after this class, you will be able to understand what are the wrong things which you are doing, maybe knowingly, maybe unknowingly, and what are the things if you are supposed to do all these things, or if you are compelled to do these things, then what are the treatments which you can do. So this is the specific chapter which is mentioned in our Samhita, the very famous Samhita, or the book of the Ayurveda called as the Charaka Samhita. So Charaka Samhita, Sutra Sthan, chapter 7, explains about this suppression of the natural urges. So Vegan Dharaniya, that is the title of this today's class. So Vega means urges and Dharaniya means holding. So we will know what are the natural urges and what will happen if we hold them. And there are certain urges which you are supposed to hold, and why you are supposed to hold. So Ayurveda guides us like maintaining healthy mind and body. It's not science of maintaining the healthy body, but also considers mind. So there are multiple secrets which are mentioned in Ayurveda scripture for the happy living. And this Charak Samhita chapter 7, Sutrasthana chapter 7 explains us for the happy life, there are certain impulses which one should avoid, and there are certain impulses which one should not avoid. So there basically it explains that there are two types of natural urges. One is Dharaniya Vega, that means you are supposed to hold, and other one is Adharaniya Vega, that means one should never hold. So Dharaniya Vegas are basically explained for avoiding the diseases, and Adharaniya Vegas one should not hold, because if you hold, then you will get diseases. So what are the Adharaniya Vegas? Means what are the urges which one should not hold? The shloka explains that na vegan dharaye diman jatan mutra purishayo na retaso na vatasya na chardya shavator na cha na udgarasya na jrumbhaya na vegan shruti na bashpasya na nidraya nishwasasya shramena cha. So there are almost a total 13 urges which are mentioned, which one should never ever hold. And in the first line, it explains that na vegan dharayet dhiman. That means one who is an intelligent person should not hold these urges, which are initiated by the sensation of urine, defecation, release of a semen during sexual intercourse, flatus, vomiting, sneezing, belching, yawning, hunger, thirst, tears, sleep, and exertion-induced dyspnea. So these are the everyone is able to see the screen now? Hare Krishna?
Yes.
Am I audible also, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So these are the 13 urges which one should never ever hold. So we will explain one by one what are these urges again in detail, and what happens if you hold them, and what is the treatment can be done to neutralize the ill effects which happen on the body. So basically, what happens if you hold the urges? Acharya explained that etan dharaito jatan vegan roga bhavanti. If you hold these urges, you will get diseases. Roga bhavanti. Okay. So first they have explained, first urge they have explained is the suppression of the urge of a micturition. So I know I'm 100% sure that whoever attending this session must have gone like in their life, must have gone the situation where they have to suppress or hold the urge of a micturition, but which is not good for your health. And let's see what happens if you hold it. Basti mehanayo shulam mutra krucham shiroruja vinamo vangshananaham sad lingam mutra nigrahi. So what will happen if you hold the urine, hold the urge of urine? What will happen? Pain in the bladder. Basti mehanayo shulam. That means pain in the bladder and the passage through which you pass the urine. And then dysuria. So specifically, painful micturition will happen because when you hold the urine for longer period, it becomes site for the growth of the bacteria, and then you prone for the infection. Then what will happen? Shiroruja, that means headache. Then vinamo vangshananaham sad lingam mutra nigrahi. So again, what will happen? Bending and stiffness of the groins. So that area will become more stiff, and then distension of the lower abdomen. So these are the things which happen when you hold the urine, the urge of the urine. So if now you have understood that these are the effects which your body is going to get if you hold the urine. But if the situation occurs, then I will say that one should not, whenever possible, you should not hold the urine. But if situation occurs, then the treatment is Svedavagahanam Abhyangam Sarpishascha Avapedakam Mutre Pratihate Kurya Trividam Basti Karmaja. The first thing which you are supposed to do is a fermentation. That means over that area you can have like hot water bath or like steam will help to reduce the excess vata which has occurred in that area. Then another is sitz bath. So basically sitting in a warm water with little salt or triphala decoction, you can you can balance the excess vata which has occurred in this process. Then massage, oil massage, warm oil massage over that area. Then another thing which was explained is avapedaka sneha. That means consumption of a ghee in a large doses before or and after the meals. So whenever this situation occurs, you should have before meals and after meals. Generally, we suggest to have dashamula gritam. This is a medicated ghee. But if not possible, at least normal homemade cow ghee also you can have warm cow ghee. You can have before meals and after meals. And if it is happen like too much urine retention happens, then you have to get admitted to the hospital, and we give the different types of Basti treatment. That's a medicated enema. It could be either with the oil or with the decoction, and it is given through the urinary orifice. You can say to that extent the complication may happen. So one should never ever hold the urine. Then second is the suppression of urge of a defecation. So you have like you see mostly it happens in children. Basically, they are too busy in playing, and whenever the urge comes, they don't want to go. So they try to hold it. Even elderly people also, if you are in a meeting or if some urgent work is going on, so a person tries to hold the urge of a defecation. So what happens if you hold the urge of defecation? Papvashe shirashulam vatavarsho apravartanam pindiko dveshtanadmanam purishe sat vidharite. So first thing will happen, you will get a lot of colicky pain, abdominal pain. If someone has cold, you must have observed that you get severe abdominal pain. Then headache. If someone is used to holding these kind of things, so what happens once you become used to, then it becomes tendency of holding the urge of the bowel evacuation, and then it turns into the constipation. So such a person may suffer from a headache. So sometimes patient comes to us and then he says that we are getting recurrent headache or a migraine kind of issue. So you have to check whether you have this urge of holding defecation or bowel evacuation habit, or you are suffering from constipation. So even if you are suffering from constipation, maybe you may not be doing it with your will, but still that will come under holding the urge of the defecation, and that may create headache. Then retention of fecal matter and platter. Sometimes it becomes so hard, the fecal matter becomes so hard in the intestine, then it retains inside the intestine, it becomes hard, and then even platters also cannot move, so you feel obstruction. Then cramps in the calf muscle. So basically, such a person feel a lot of cramps and then distension of the abdomen. So these are the symptoms which you get after the holding the urge of a defecation. So what is the treatment? First thing is fomentation, like I explained in the urinary complications, where there also you can do fomentation, like hot water fomentation, then massage on the abdomen with warm oil, then sits bath. These three things are common in urine urge also. Then per rectal suppositories. So what will happen if you put this, generally doctors put these suppositories in the anal region so that it induces the bowel evacuation. And then certain medicated enema also we give. Certain food items which you can take, which help to for the bowel evacuation. For example, haritaki or hirda, it's a kind of a herb which helps in a bowel evacuation. So these are the treatments which one should do when you are when you occur, like if it happened that you are holding the defecation, holding the urge of a defecation. Then third is a diseases due to suppression of urge of a ejaculation during sexual intercourse and its treatment. So this is also another type of urge where what are the symptoms you will a person will show. Medre vrishnayo shulam angamardo hrudivyatha bhavet pratihate shukre with baddham mutramevacha. So if during sexual intercourse someone holds the semen, then there will be pain in the penis and testicles. Then body pain, severe body pain will happen. Then pain in the cardiac region, and then retention of urine. These are the symptoms which are observed if you hold the urge of ejaculation during the sexual intercourse. So what is the treatment for it? Tatra abhyanga avagahascha madira charanayudha shalihi payo niruhascha shastam maithunam evacha. First thing is massage, full body massage or the massage of the abdomen. Then sits bath, and it is mentioned that medicated alcohol, certain medicated alcohols are recommended so that it becomes easy for the release of the semen. Then another is a shalihi, that means a kind of rice one should have. Then payo, that means milk one should have, one should drink warm milk. Then there is a niruha vasti, a kind of enema, a decoction enema is given. And then shastam maithunam evacha, that means proper sexual intercourse is prescribed in this condition. Then there is a fourth urge which is mentioned, that suppression of a urge to pass flatulence and its treatment. So generally, this becomes a topic of a gossip or a, embarrassing feeling. If you see, like, if you see this picture, a teacher farts on the Zoom. So it is quite natural. One should not hold this urge of a flatulence, even though if it is embarrassing, but still, if you hold this urge, you can see what are the things your body will suffer from. First thing is a sango vinmutra vatanam admanam vedana klamaha jatare vatajaschanne rogasyu vata nigraha. That means retention of a feces. Sango with, that means retention of feces. Then sango mutra, that means urine and flatus retention will happen. And what will happen? What will create? That will create vatanam adhanam, that means distension of abdomen, which will create pain, that means vedana, klama, that means fatigue. And with that, if you keep on continuing all these things, then you will get abdominal diseases. So what is the treatment? If one holds the urge of a flatulence, what that person should do is sneha sveta vidistatra vartayo bhojanani cha panani bastayashchaiva shastam vatana lomanam. That means in such a cases one should do sneha sveta vidistatra, external and internal administration of a unctuous substance and fermentation. So one should have a either cow ghee with warm water, and then at the local area one should do some vedana, that means fermentation, hot water bath. Then one should put from the doctor the rectal suppositories. Okay? Then intake of foods or drinks that having carminative action. So carminative action means it will help to remove the flatus which is there in the abdomen. So such a food intake will be like ajwain, carom seeds, fennel, bay leaf, caraway seeds, cumin seeds, cardamom, and rock salt. So all these things, if you prepare little like small 1 cup of tea by adding either ajwain or fennel or cardamom or ajwain plus rock salt, and you can have like a tea kind of a thing, and once or twice, then automatically it will become easy for the flatus to pass. And if still it remains inside, if it retains inside, then therapeutic enema is prescribed. Then there are chances that you may go through a situation where you are forced to suppress the urge of vomiting. So generally, it happens like for the females who are pregnant during pregnancy, they feel the nausea, and sometimes if they are outside and they are getting the vomiting sensation, they try to hold it. But it's a very alarming situation if someone holds the urge of vomiting. It creates a lot of diseases. So what are the diseases? Kandu kotha aruchi vyanga shota pandava mayajvaraha pushta rillas visarpa chardi nigraha jagata. So the diseases will be pruritus, itching on the skin, urticaria. This is a kind of allergic reaction which your body shows immediately. Then aversion to the food. You may not feel hungry or you may not feel like eating because you have hold the urge of vomiting. Then vyanga, discoloration of the face. Then shotha, edema on the body. Then pallor or anemia. Then fever. Pushta, skin diseases. Nausea and visarpa or erysipelas. So all the different type of skin disorders happen if you hold the urge of vomiting. Treatment is Bhuktva prachhadanam dhumo langanam raktamokshanam rukshannapanam vyayamo vireka shastra chasyate. So what we do? Therapeutic induction of the vomiting. Then dhumapana, that is therapeutic inhalation of the smoke. Then langana, therapeutic fasting, which all these things are done under the observation of the doctor. Then rakta mokshana, that means bloodletting, and food and drinks that are dry in property. So that's why for the female who are pregnant, for them generally morning sickness is too much and they feel like vomiting sensation. So it should not happen. That's why we suggest them to have something dry at bedside, and when they get up, they should eat that dry food item so that vomiting will not happen. So then there is no question of holding it. Then vyayama, that means some physical exercises we have to do, and therapeutic purgation is done in such cases. Then there is a urge of a sneezing. So every one of you has experienced that. Sometimes it happens that you get the urge and then it gets suppressed. So one should not suppress forcefully this urge of sneezing. What will happen if you suppress this urge of sneezing? Manyastamba shirashulam ardita ardhava vedakau indriyanam cha daurvalyam shavato sat vidharana. You can see there are so many complications can happen if you just hold the urge of a sneezing. What will happen? Manyastamba, that means neck stiffness. Shirashulam, headache. Ardita, that means facial paralysis. So those who are suffering from facial paralysis, we have to check that whether there was any such of a thing happen in the past history. But now you have to understand that even like just a small urge of a sneezing, if you hold, that can lead to facial paralysis. So it can lead to permanent damage of your face. Then indriyanam cha daurvalyam, weakness of all your senses. Pain in the half side of ardhava vedapo, migraine kind of a headache also can happen. So all these things can happen if you just hold the urge of a sneeze. So if one suffers from all these things, immediately that person has to go to doctor and take the treatment. So what is the treatment? Tatra urdhva jatruke abhyangam sveda dhuma sanavanaha hitam vatagnam adyam cha krutam cha uttar bhaktikam. So in such cases, what we have to do is abhyangam, that means therapeutic massage of the face, oil massage. Then svedana, that is a fermentation of the supraclavicular region. And then dhuma sanavana. So what we do nastyam treatment, that means administration of the oil in the nose, and after that we do Dhuma, that is the use of a medicated smoke like vacha, all this kind of different kind of herbs. And nasyam, that is the oil administration in the nose, is done with certain oils like Kshiravala or Panchendriya Vardhan, Anu Thailam, all these kind of oils are used. And the food which one person should take, that it should be elevation of the vata. For example, it should be warm, it should be always like with little ghee, it should be little salty, it should be little sour, which reduces vata. If a person who suffers from this kind of a vata disorder, like for example facial paralysis or neck stiffness, and if that person takes more, if that person stays in air conditioner room, that person takes ice cream or like cold things, then the condition will get worsened. So make sure that this person takes warm, anxious, salty, sour kind of food. Then consumption of a ghee after meals, that also helps to reduce the vata, specifically in the upper region of the face. Then there is the seventh urge, that is the urge of a belching. Belching. That means udgara. That means burping, basically. So what will happen if you just hold the urge of a burp? Hikka shwasa ruchi kampo vibandho hrudayo raso udgara nigrahastatra hikkaya tulyam. What will happen if you hold the urge of a burping? It will give you hiccup. It will give you dyspnea, shwasa. Then aruchi, aversion to the food. Kampa, that means tremors. Then pibandho hrudayorasa, feeling of a congestion in the cardiac and chest region. So you can see, imagine, these are very small things, and that can lead to major complications. So feeling of congestion in the cardiac region and chest region is a very complicated thing. Then it should be so, and the treatment for that it should be treated like a hiccup. So hiccup is a kind of a disease, that means hiccup means hiccup. So it is a kind of a disease which is mentioned in the scripture, and there is a specific treatment which is mentioned. So for example, Snehan, Svedan, Vaman, and Dumpan. So these are like Panchakarma procedures which are mentioned to treat the these hiccups. Then eighth urge, that is suppression of urge of yawning. So yawning is also like very simple thing. Every day when you get up in the morning, you yawn. Okay, but if one holds this urge, what will happen? Vinama akshepa sankocha sukti kampa pravepanam trumbaya nigrahastatra sarvam matagnam ausham. If you hold just the urge of yawning, crookedness of the body can happen. Even you can get convulsions. You can get contraction of the muscles. Then kampa, numbness, sukti. Sukti means numbness. Kampa means tremors. Pravepanam, trembling. All these can happen if you just hold the urge of a jumba, that means yawning. What is the treatment? Again, all vata pacifying treatment, all warm things, oil massages on the face, oil massages on the body, that will help to reduce the complications. Then another urge, that is urge of hunger. So now you have to understand whether this is the urge of hunger or it is a desire of eating. So sometimes you get the desire of, you are hungry but your mind wants more extra. So you have to check whether it is just the urge of hunger or it is a just desire of your mind. If it is a desire of your mind, if you have filled your stomach nicely, and if it is just desire of your mind, then you have to neglect. But if it is a hunger, you are really feeling hungry and you are suppressing that urge, then what will happen? Karsha daurbalya vaivarnyam angamardo aruchi brahma. So what will happen? Emaciation. So then you can see this picture, these kids are holding their urge because they are not getting food at all. So that's why you can see the ribs are visible. Emaciation, weakness, change in body complexion, generalized body ache, aversion to the food. If you just fast for 1 or 2 days, you will not feel like eating because that gives like aversion to the food. Then dizziness. These are all the signs which happen if you hold the urge of hunger. So what is the treatment? Shuddvega nigrahastatra snignoshnam lagu bhojanam. So in such a cases, if you are holding your urge of hunger, then you should eat the food. What kind of food? It should not be anything which you like. The food should be angus, little snigdha. That means you should add cow ghee prepared with little oil. It should be hot It should be light and easily digestible. So this kind of a food will help to reduce the complications which have happened by holding the urge of hunger. And I'm very happy to share that ISKCON is doing a lot of food donation, like for hungry people. And there they serve this hot khichdi, most of the hungry people. So indirectly, they are helping people to help from the diseases to happen, like emaciation and all this kind of different kind of health hazards, specifically for the children. Then there is another urge, that is urge of a thirst. You are feeling thirsty, and if you are not drinking water, let's see what happens. Kanthasya shosha badhiryam shramasado rudi vratha. So that means kanthasya shosha, dryness of a throat and mouth. Badhirya, stiffness. Then shrama, feeling of exhaustion. Sad, weakness. Then Hridi Vyatha, cardiac pain. So these are the things which may happen if you hold the urge of a thirst. What is the treatment? Pipasa nigrahas tatra sheetam tarpanam ishyate. So you have to take cold and refreshing food. So cold doesn't mean here like you just put some ice in some drink and then that with that you satisfy your thirst. No, it should be cold by nature, or it should be cold, naturally cold. Like if you are using water, it should be from mud pot, something like that. So that will help to reduce the um, urge of the that will help to reduce your thirst, and all these complications which are happening, that will also come down. Then diseases due to suppression of urge of tears. So every one of us must have cried many times. Specifically when kids cry, we tell them forcefully, don't cry. I don't want to see tears in your eyes. So indirectly, we are forcing them to suppress the urge of like crying, because that will also lead to the diseases. So what will happen if they forcefully hold this urge? Pratishaya akshirogascha hridregascha ruchir brahmaha. So rhinitis, pratishaya. They might get rhinitis. Akshiroga. So here you have to make sure if some child is crying, you should not forcefully make them hold the urge. That may lead to eye diseases. Then hridroga, cardiac diseases. Aruchi, that is aversion to the food. And then dizziness. Um, uh, because of the grief, the more grief. If you suppress the urge of grief, we have seen like those who can't cry, they faint when they hear something sad news. So due to grief, they faint. So what is the treatment? Bashpa nigrahanastatra swapno madhyam priya katha. So treatment is first treatment, sleep or rest. They must take some rest. Then intake of madhyam. So madhyam, swapno is the rest. Then madhyam, that means medicated alcohol. Then priya katha. You should tell them pleasing stories or positive conversations. So all these things will help to get good sleep, and then these complications won't happen. Then there is a urge of a sleep. If you are suppressing the urge of a sleep, so this is 12th urge, that is sleep. So now nowadays, if you see everyone, maybe 90% of the people, they are suppressing their urge of sleep. You can see the picture. The person is on the mobile, and nowadays because you are suppressing this urge of the sleep, you might suffer from all these problems. Let's see what are the problems. Jrumba angamarda standra cha shiroroho akshi gauravam nidra vidharanastatra swapna samvahanani cha. Jrumba, yawning can happen. Angamarda, that means body ache. Drowsiness, tandra means drowsiness. Then shiroroga, diseases of the head. Akshi gauravam, heaviness in the eyes. So everyone must have experience. If you don't get sleep, or if you hold the urge of the sleep, you get all these symptoms. So what is the treatment? Restoring the sound sleep and samvahana, swapnaha samvahanani. That means restoring the sound sleep. You must sleep. And gentle massage. So in such cases, we advise if you can have some gentle massage, that will help you to sleep down. Then last urge, which one should never hold, is urge of exertion induced dyspnea. So that means if you do some exercises and you are like you have exerted yourself and you are feeling little dyspnea, breathlessness, little bit like deep breathing, and that time if you just hold that urge, then गुल्महृद्रोग समूह श्रम निश्वास धारणा जायन्ते तत्र विश्रामो वातग्नश्च क्रियाहितः. Gulma is a kind of a disease which one can get. Then cardiac diseases one can get. Then sammoha, that is confused state of the mind. Then shrama, you might you will get it when you hold this urge. Shrama nishvasa dharana. If you hold this urge, jayante tatra vishramo vatagnascha kriya. So yes, you have to take proper rest and follow the regimen for the elevation of the vata. So whatever vata, anti-vata treatment is there, warm, antas things, all these things you have to follow. So Veda Vigrahaja Roga ya ete parikripita ichham tesham anupattim vegan etan haret. So what Acharyas has explained that diseases caused by the suppression of various natural urges have been described in this chapter, which I have already explained you. So person desires of preventing these diseases should not suppress any natural urges. So now you have understood these are almost 13 urges which I have explained. So if one want to prevent diseases, so one want to prevent diseases, then one should not never ever hold these urges. But there are certain urges which one must hold. They are called as dharaniya vega. So these were adharaniya vegas, and now I'll be explaining dharaniya vega. Why dharaniya vega you have to hold? Because they will give you, they will create some psychological problems in your body, and they will ruin your life. So what are these? We'll see what are these urges basically. And a person willing for his own well-being. So if one want to stay happy physically and mentally also. So physically, if you want to stay happy, you should hold all those. You should not hold all those 13 urges which I have explained. But one want to stay happy, then you have to hold these urges. So these are lobha, shoka, bhaya, krodha, mana, vegana, vidharaye. These are manasik vegas or psychological urges. So what are these? Lobha, greed, shoka, grief, bhaya, fear, krodha, anger, mana, egoism, then nairlajya, shamelessness, irsha, jealousy, ati raga, that is excessive attachment, and ati raganam abhidhayascha, desire to acquire someone else's wealth. So these are the manasik vegas, psychological urges which one should hold. Then vachik vegas, there are some verbal urges also. What are these? Parushasya atimatrasya suchakasya anrutasya cha vakyasya kalayuktasya dharayet vegam uttitam. Harsh talk, one should hold this urge. If one is feeling to talk harshly with someone, one should hold this urge. Then excessive talking. Then this kind of a talk which intends to harm others or backbiting. Then lying, untimely speech, improper words at improper time are to be restrained. Then kaik vegas, the physical त्रिभोगस्तेय हिंसाद्या तस्य वेगान विधारयेत. Am I audible to everyone? Okay. So physical actions intended to trouble others, that one should hold. Excessive indulgence in the sex, that one should hold. Desire of a stealing, that one should hold. And violence, that also you should restrain. So what will happen? Importance of restraint. Punya shabda vipapatvat manovakkaya karmanam dharmartha kaman purushaha sukhi bhunte chinoti cha. Who is one who is free from all evil deeds of a mind, speech, and body will become happy. So what they are saying? You will become sukhi, and you will enjoy The fruits of a dharma, artha, kama. Dharma, artha, kama, and purusha, sukhi bhute chinoti cha. So now you have understood 13 urges one should hold, and the other like manasik, kaik, vachik, vega urges one should 13 urges one should never hold, and kaik, vachik, manasik urges one should hold. So out of the 13, first 7 urges like micturition, defecation, ejaculation of a semen, passing platters, vomiting, sneezing, and belching. So these urges are intended to expel the waste products from your body. Hmm? So that you should never hold. So that is important. Then next 6 urges like yawning, hunger, thirst, fear, sleep, and exertional induced dyspnea. So these are next 6 urges which also you should not hold. Why? Because they are the our physiological requirements of the body are are based on this, and they will help to maintain the homeostasis. So I would like to thank. So this is what I wanted to share with all of you. These are the urges which you should hold, which are the urges which you should not hold. So if you have any questions, we still have some time, so I can answer those questions. You can put it in a write in a chat box. I think there are few questions. Yeah, there is a question. For hunger during fasting, one definitely hold to not have food. So we see demerits which you just mentioned, but at the same time, it's your view on this. It's a nice question, and I think after hearing this session, those who are devotees, they might have got this question. And see, definitely, these are certain auspicious days, and on these days, you are supposed to fast. Specifically, some Nirjal Ekadashis are there where you are supposed to fast. But if you are fasting, there are certain techniques to fast. You should not abruptly fast. So if you are fasting, one day before you must take Tripula Churnam. Next day you can have, and these fasting are like you will be doing once in a year or twice a year, maximum 3. I think we are doing 3 Nirjala Ekadashis. So previous day you must to drink enough amount of water. At bedtime you must take Tripula. Next day morning when you break your fast, you should not break your fast with something which is like heavy, maybe sweet rice or something like the feast which you get. You should break it with by taking something liquid, which will be like pitta pacific, maybe uh, kokum sharbat, or before that also you can have few drops of cow ghee so that your fire will become strong, and then you can have something like maybe uh, watery khichdi or something which is very light for the digestion, or vegetable soup, something like that. So with that, after that, slowly, slowly, you have to keep an eye on your hunger, and how your hunger increases, then only you should come on the normal food. So with that, you will not get certain things will be there, but those complications will be temporary basis. Only 1 or 2 days you might feel, and after that they will come down. Yeah, there is a question in yoga. We hold breath during some breathing exercises. How is that different from the urge from causing dyspnea? So this the holding this breath, like during pranayama, we are holding the breath. But here it is mentioned that the dyspnea which is occurred after the exertion. So like for example, you are running and then you are getting this dyspnea, and that time if you just hold, or that immediately at that time if you start doing pranayama or something like that, then you will get complication. But in yoga there is no such exertion you are doing. You are not doing heavy exercises. You are doing some yoga asanas which will not make you which will not exert your body too much, and then that you can do easily. That will not come under this then there is another question. how to understand difference in hunger and craving for food. Kokum Sharbat is recommended for everyone. Yeah, so actually, see, if you are, it's very simple to understand now. What will happen if you are, you have, it happens like specifically for the kids, it happens that you have just now taken the food, or the kids, they might have taken the food in a small or they have taken their meals, and if they get something which they like, immediately they will ask for it. So you have to understand that this kind of, that is the urge, that is your desire of your mind. So that is that kind of urge you can hold, but you're really feeling hungry, it is your lunch time, and that time, if you have some meeting or some other important engagement, and that time if you are skipping your meals, then you will get these consequences. So that is the difference. You are full, and that time if you are getting some desire, if you get some sweet or some your favorite thing, then definitely uh, um, that will not come under the urge. uh, yes, Simi has raised hand.
I asked my question. It was answered. Thank you in the chat.
Oh, okay.
Thank you.
So I think we still have some questions. I'll just check. How to decrease? Okay, that is I already. Kokum Sharbat, yeah. So Kokum Sharbat is recommended for everyone. Basically, Kokum Sharbat is recommended for specifically those who are Pitta dominant person, because they have a very strong Pitta in their body. So for such people, we recommend Kokum Sharbat. But even like for Vata people also, Kokum can be taken because it's little sour in nature, sour in taste. So that also can be taken. Even kapha person also. So kokum can be taken by everyone, no problem. Only vata person, you can have little warm form. That will be better option. There is a question. To anyone can do intermittent fasting. So basically, intermittent fasting is not a concept of Ayurveda, you can say. But those who are obese people, or they want to reduce the weight, or maybe these kind of issues are there, then they can go for intermittent fasting for short term. But there is no concept like intermittent fasting in the Ayurveda. Can you recommend any Kokum Sharbat brand? See, basically, instead of buying the ready-made Kokum Sharbat, I'll recommend Kokum, dry Kokum you get in the market. You just soak them overnight and boil them, squeeze them, uh, boil it, and you add rock sugar to it. You will get, this is the Kokum Sharbat only. So because the market, they will add some preservatives. So this dry kokum, it remains for longer. It stays for one year also. So in season, you get fresh kokum, you can use them. Other times, you can use dry kokum. So I think I have answered all questions. Okay. There is a question. There are urges like eating a specific thing or urge to drink something unhealthy. Such urges, how to take? Definitely, you have to hold these urges, because anything which is unhealthy is unhealthy. So definitely, it is going to affect your body. So you have to make yourself, like you have to understand or educate yourself that whatever is unhealthy is not good for your body. So you for such urges, you must hold them. Um, can you share this PPT with? Sure, I will share the PPT. Yes, Suresh is there.
Yeah, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Yes, Prabhu.
I had two questions basically. One was like how many hours a day we should sleep. What is recommended as per Ayurveda, and secondly, like it is said, you should have a yogic way of eating, like once a meal a day. So, what is your recommendation on that, doctor? These
Okay.
two queries.
So, okay. So first question is about sleep. So actually day sleep is not recommended in Ayurveda. Certain conditions are there, certain specific conditions are there in which day sleep is recommended. For example, small kids, hmm, for them it is recommended they can sleep in daytime. Those who are very weak, very thin person, for them also it is recommended they can sleep in daytime. And old age people, they also can sleep in a daytime. Those who have if the certain people who if they sleep late in the night, so next day they can sleep before their meals. Like if their meal lunch is at 12 o'clock, before that they can sleep for 1 hour. But after meals, one should not sleep. So after meal, generally some people they sleep, they have this habit. Generally, you feel little drowsy after meal, heavy. So immediately you lie down and you end up by sleeping 1 or 2 hours, which is not at all recommended in Ayurveda because it creates disturbance in the metabolism. It affects your digestion. So you must have experienced that certain people they don't sleep in the daytime because immediately after that they feel acidic, they feel heaviness in the body. So that is sure one should not never ever sleep in the daytime. Then second question was you said about Hare Krishna.
Hello.
Yeah, second question was about.
Second question was, normally we say that we should have a yogic way of eating, that is one day a meal, and that is good for the health.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
what is the recommendation on that, doctor?
So Ayurveda says that breakfast you should have like. Yeah. So am I audible? Am I audible? Okay. So Ayurveda says you should have your breakfast. See, yogic food is a different concept, but in Ayurveda, about food, what is recommended that in the morning you should have good breakfast, uh, and then in lunch also you should have a good lunch, like a complete meal, and in dinner you should have light food. They say that dinner you should eat like a beggar. So one should have a very small and simple meal, easily digestible food. Lunch, because that time your appetite is quite good, so that time you can have a complete meal, okay, because you'll be able to digest that food. And breakfast you can have, say, generally kapha person, they don't feel appetite, they don't feel much hungry, so they can have small quantity, but they must have meal. And then those who are like a vata person or pitta person, they also should have a good amount of breakfast. That is how it is mentioned in the item.
Thank you, doctor.
There is one question. Sometime in public places, if we are holding urges of passing urine, what we should do immediately after passing urine? So if that is happening in case, then I'll suggest if you get something like help reduce the excess vata which has happened. If you can avoid going in a cold places or avoid AC air conditioners, that also is another way to avoid the complications. But because all these warm things, warm water, then lemon water, warm lemon water, all these are anti vata. So they will reduce the excess vata or whatever like abdominal pain or whatever things if you are getting, that will come down. And avoid cold things, that is for sure. Like sometimes it may happen that one is holding the urge of urine, and then again after passing the urine, if someone offers you cold ice cream or something like that, if you take it again, the complications are going to happen because already vata has increased, and by taking all this cold food you are again increasing the vata in your body. So warm things are recommended. There is a question for mild carpal tunnel syndrome. What is recommended medicine in Ayurveda? What type of food to avoid? The carpal tunnel syndrome is because of the gap which is there in your hand to pass the nerves. Actually, they are not able to. There is a small portion in your wrist where your nerves are passing. So this like a car. It's a kind of a tunnel. So through which the certain nerves, tendons, muscles, all those they pass. Okay. So what happens in certain conditions if they are if that area becomes constricted or the nerves become inflamed, then you get pain. So in certain conditions, we recommend the food which should be like dry food, and it should you can include more turmeric in your food so that it can reduce the inflammation, and even like avoid exposure to the cold things. Mm. So all these things will help to reduce the pain basically, or application of certain labum, and avoid the food which causes inflammation. For example, all junk food you must avoid in such conditions. There is a question, I get intermittent urination, not at once, how to solve? So you have to check first thing, is there any obstruction in the passage of urination, in the passage of from bladder to the ureters and the external orifice. So if there is any obstruction, sometimes prostate might increase. So in certain patients, if prostate growth is there, so you have to go certain checkups. With that, you will come to know what is the cause of intermittent urination, and then as per that, you have to take the decision. There is a question, shall I avoid dinner to get good sleep? If digestion is not good, then you can have a easily digestible food. Maybe some vegetable soups or khichdi or moong soup, something like that, which is like a watery and easily digestible. That kind of a food, if you start taking, then it won't get disturbance in the correct digestion. You have to take certain medications for that, and then take simple, easily digestible food. Don't avoid the food. What first? Water or food is stuck in your windpipe. If food is stuck in your windpipe, then you should generally we suggest you can have something like warm things. If it is like warm cow ghee or warm water, something like that, if it is helping, that can be done. Otherwise, you must reach to the doctor. If it is happening recurrently, like multiple times, then you should find out what is the reason. There could be some nerve related problem related with the nervous system. So that has to be ruled out. So I think I have answered all the questions, and our time is also over. Thank you everyone for your patient listening. I was very happy that on Doctor's Day I got this service so that I can make everyone aware of this knowledge. And if I become a part of you to if I become a part to get you like help you to avoid the diseases in future, I'm happy for that. So thank you everyone. Hare Krishna.